All right, we're going to take a look at some of the questions from the Part 3 homework. So it says that we can afford a $700 a month mortgage payment. We found a 30-year loan at 5% interest. So how big of a loan can we afford? So this time we know our monthly payments, so they're going to be $700 a month. The formula says 1 minus, we're going to have 1 plus, our interest rate is 5%, so 0.05 written as a decimal, over 12. It's a 30-year loan, so remember that has that negative in there, 30 times 12. And then this is going to be all over 0.05 over 12. Again, just being able to plug into your calculator a little bit easier, it's nice to multiply 30 times 12. And again, if you use Desmos, it should pop out to be that the price that you can afford will be $130,397.13, rounded to the nearest cent. Okay, so the total money that we're going to actually pay the loan company is going to be that 700 times, we're going to make monthly payments for 30 years. Again, that's that 360. So if we multiply 700 times 360, that ends up being $252,000. Now that's quite a bit more than our loan amount, and that is going to be how much interest we're going to be paying. So if I take the total amount that we paid minus the amount of our loan, that difference is going to be the amount of money that we paid in interest. Basically the fee for borrowing money. And that total is going to be $121,602.87. Wow. Almost the same as the loan amount. Okay. And that's a pretty high interest rate, 5%. Even now, current interest rates might be around like 7%. So interest rates can make a big difference on how much you're going to be paying over the life of your loan. All right, let's take a look at number 21. You want to buy a $25,000 car. The company is offering a 2% interest rate for 48 months. That's 4 years. This time we want to know the monthly payment. So we know the loan amount is $25,000. We want to figure out that D. So we're going to have 1 minus, it'll be 1 plus 0.02, that's 2% written as a decimal, over 12, because we're making these monthly payments. We're doing it for 48 months, so you could just put 48, or you could do 12 times 4, but we know it's going to be 48, and again, don't forget that negative. And then this is all over 0.02 over 12. So again, the way that we were solving this previously was taking this amount, it's being multiplied with the D, so all we need to do is take 25,000 and divide by that amount. And so that's what I'm going to enter into my calculator. Which if you enter that all correctly, that gives us that D will be equal to $542.38. All right, moving to question number 23. It says that we want to buy a $200,000 home. We're going to put 10% as a down payment, and we're going to take a 30-year loan for the rest. So the very first thing we want to know is what is 10% of that $200,000? Well, that's the same as multiplying 0.10 times 200,000 or dividing it by 10, which ends up getting us $20,000. So then that means that we're going to have to finance or get a loan for 200,000 minus 20,000, which is $180,000. So we're going to use the same formula that we just used about the car, but this time our amount is 180,000. We are trying to solve for D. We're going to write 1 minus 1 plus, our interest rate is 10. Oh, what is our interest rate? Let's see. How much is the loan amount going to be? Okay, so this is our loan amount. And, okay, so for part B, and I didn't read the question, it wants us to know what 5%, if the interest rate is 5%, what the monthly payment will be. And then you can see on part C, they're going to compare that with 6%. So we're going to do this twice. Again, using decimals, I keep promoting that, but it's really easy to just change the 5% to a 6% in two places to see that difference. So we're going to put 1 plus 0.05 over 12, and this will be to it's 30 years. So 12 times 30, or negative 360, all over 0.05 over 12. So again, in your calculator, we're going to take this 180,000, divide by that fraction. That's really the easiest way to do it. And we're going to end up with $966.28. Okay, and again, that's at the 5% interest rate. So if interest rates go up just a little bit, it looks like not that much. It's only 6%. Well, the way that that's going to change things is just change the 0.05 and the 0.05 there to 0.06. So if we change those, we end up with $1,079.19. Again, in your calculator or my calculator, all I did was change 0.05 to 0.06. And you can see the difference in our monthly payments, which also is starting to tell you that you're going to be paying, it looks like almost $100 something for 30 years. That's 360 payments. So you're going to be paying a bit more in interest by just moving up that 1% interest rate. Okay, looking at question 25, it says that Emil bought a car for $24,000 3 years ago. The loan had a 5-year term at 3% interest, making monthly payments. How much does he still owe on the car? So what we're going to want to do for that is first find out what the monthly payments are. So similar to what we've been doing, we're going to write the $24,000 is equal to, and this is D, that's the payment amount that we want, times 1 minus 1 plus our interest rate is 3%, so I'm going to write 0.03, making monthly payments. So again, divide by 12, and that'll be to the negative 12 times 5, because it was a 5-year loan that we had going on there. And then this is all over 0.03 over 12. Again, this whole entire fraction here is multiplied by D, so I'm going to divide 24,000 by that. I'll also, just to make it easier to enter into decimals, I'll put negative 60 for that amount. Which, entering that in, you're going to end up that our monthly payment will be $431.25 with some rounding. Okay, and so for the last part, we want to know how much that he still owes on the car. So it was a 5-year term and 3 years have passed. So there's 2 more years of making that payment. So we want to figure out what the amount of money will be after making, like basically what the loan balance is with these payments after with 2 years only left to go, right? So there were 5-year term, and we've already been paying for 3 years. So there's only 2 years left to go. So we're going to calculate what that remaining balance will be by looking at filling in 431.25 for our monthly payment, and then 1 minus 1 plus 0.03 over 12. And this is going to be just for 2 of those years, so negative 2 times 12. All over 0.03 over 12. So for simplicity here, again, change this to the negative 24, and this will be entered directly into the calculator. Again, if you're using decimals, that's really helpful. Which will be about $10,033.45. So that's the remaining loan balance after those 3 years have already been paid.